Hi, and welcome to Across the Desk. Well, here we are, the fourth show into season 5, and, well, we're going to do it. We're going to talk about these crazy bills conservatives, Republicans in the Oklahoma legislature are throwing into this session. And first up are some crazy bills they got going in against public education. Public education. Republicans hate that stuff. No, they really do. It's why they put in a slew of bills against it. I mean, everything they put in is about public education. Not anything is about private or charter schools. Out of the slew of bills they put in, believe me, there's a lot of bills. They put in a lot of bills on public education. None of them on private or charter, unless it has to do with the funding they take away from public schools and give it to the private and charter. That's about the only way they mention them in these bills. I mean, there's so many bills, I'm really only want to talk about two guys here. Senator Rob Standridge and Senator Nathan Dahm. Between these two guys, they have 7 bills on education. And they are way out there. I mean, there's others. There's a lot of others. Believe me, Jet has one. Jet, yeah, he has a bill on anti-diversity. You know, he's talking about just, he has an amendatory because he saw something where we're teaching kids how to get along with other people in society, how you should work with others and cooperate, how to learn about diverse environments, cultures, and people, and how to work with them, and how to be inclusive. Well, you know what? That's an affront to Jet, because he's a divisive kind of guy. He believes in division, not inclusiveness, so we don't need that crap. So you know what he does? He's got a bill to make a law against it. That's what that is. He does. It definitely is a law against that. So there you go. That's what you got. But really, we only have enough time to talk about these other bills, small amount, because believe there's so many out there. But here we go. Nathan Dahm and his propaganda machine want to give you Senate Bill 1097, 1097, and this is it's a curriculum bill. It tells you what curriculum we're going to teach everybody. We're going to teach our kids this. And in it, it goes down into the curriculum of social studies. And one of the parts in there is we're going to teach them about the progressive rejection of the founders. Progressive rejection of the founders. This is so propaganda. It's not even funny. Because when you go look up, go Google progressive rejection of the founders. And what you'll find out is it's from a guy who created a series of talking events for the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation, yeah, you know, it's a conservative think tank that puts out conservative policy and ideas and tell conservatives how they can win races. That's what it is. It's a PAC. So this is what Nathan Dahm wants to throw down our kids' throats. Some propaganda baloney from the Heritage Foundation on how progressive rejection was done by the founders, which is total baloney. Please, believe me. And I like to tell progressives this a lot, and liberals. Go to Amazon, go to the ebook section, and download Ben Franklin's autobiography. It's a free download. It's a free ebook from Amazon. Ben Franklin's autobiography. Read it. And let me know just exactly how progressive that guy really was. I mean, come on. Ben Franklin, he increased taxes for roads, for public education, for fire and police. Had taxes raised for that. He was the guy who invented our library system. He's the guy who had the post office enshrined in the Constitution. Come on, we know how much conservatives hate that part. They hate that the post office is enshrined in the Constitution and call it socialism all the time. Well, that's right, from Ben Franklin. And to top it all off, Ben Franklin at the age of 19 was a vegan. Come on, vegan at 19. I mean, how much more liberal can you get? So go read that book and then laugh at Senator Dahm's bill where he says our curriculum has to include the progressive rejection of the founders. It's so laughable, it's not even funny. It's so much propaganda, it's blatant propaganda. And then go on with Senate Bill 1102, another one of Nathan Dahm's bills, another propaganda piece that says, here we are, it's the Victims of Communism Day. Yeah, the Victims of Communism Day, somewhere around November 7th. That's actually what it says in the bill. Somewhere around November 7th, we're going to have assemblies and we're going to teach our kids about the evils of communism. Well, you know, that's fine and all. Communism, we're not a communist country, and certain aspects of it, yeah, bad and everything else and what happened, I get that. But that's all he wants to talk about. He doesn't talk about anything else. He doesn't talk about fascism or Nazism or any of the other isms out there that were just as extreme and just as awful as anything else. He doesn't want to talk about those because those hit too close to Nathan Dahm, I suppose. Being a fascist, being a Nazi, though, that's too close to him. So he can't really talk about those things, but he wants to only talk about this. And then we go on with Senate Bill 1121, where he wants to have a Thanksgiving proclamation. So on Thanksgiving, we're going to give our kids a proclamation. We're going to read this to them. And there's only three, from three guys, and they're conservatives. Ronald Reagan being one of them. Anybody else doesn't count. Now you can give those. They're not going to say we're going to go against your freedom not to say any other proclamations, but these three have to be given. And there you go. That's Senator Nathan Dahm for you. Such a propagandist. These three bills are total propaganda. They're total propaganda that go against what this guy, farm boy, says. We don't want to indoctrinate our kids. Well, you know, unless it's indoctrination he agrees with, I guess. But there you go. And that's Senator Nathan Dahm's three bills. Now, going over, we got 4 from Standridge. Standridge has 4 bills, and these are really bad. We thought Nathan Dahm's propaganda was just icky. Well, wait till you see what Standridge is doing, because he doesn't just go icky. He goes full on mean and evil. I mean, here we go. He's going after people. He's not just saying we need a law against this. He's saying we need a law against this, and then we need to fire people. We need to fine people. We need to go to the DA and the Attorney General, and we need to seek people out and investigate them fully. And that's basically what Rob Standridge does. So he's got these 4 bills. One, Senate Bill 1135. And in 1135, it's called the Wellness Scholarship Act. Now, what is the Wellness Scholarship Act? Well, what it does is it gives you your scholarship if a public school decides to have a mask mandate or a shot mandate. Mostly even just mask mandate. So if public school decides to have a mask mandate, well, you can go have a grievance against the school board or the State Department of Education and get that public school money to spend on a private school to send your kid to. Now get this, the private school, it can still have a mask mandate. Nothing in the bill says anything about a private school having a mask mandate or a shot mandate. So if your public school has a mask mandate and shot mandate, well, that's bad. And you can go ahead and get your money and go ahead and spend it on a private school that has a shot and mask mandate. Way to go, Nathan Dahm, because, you know, that's what Nathan Dahm does. He's kind of a coward like that, right? Likes to dish it, just way too wussy to take it. And that's what we get with a bill like this, where, hey, public school can't do this, but a private school, we're going to let them do whatever they want, no matter, we're going to give them the money to do it. And so that's what we get with Nathan Dahm on his wellness scholarship. Well, it's not Dahm, that's Standridge on his wellness scholarship thing. Right, a wellness scholarship. Let's give private schools the money that public schools should have. So then we go on. He's got another bill, Senate Bill 1142. Now this is against any kind of teaching on racism or anything else. You know, you can't talk about black people or that they were oppressed because, you know, if it makes a white person feel guilty, well, then I should be able to sue. And that's basically what that does. And that's basically what that is. I mean, it's an anti-diversity bill. Another one kind of like Jet's deal, you know, the conservatives trying to placate that base, trying to win some votes, I guess. I guess that's what he's trying to do. But he's going after people doing this. But that's what conservatives are. Conservatives like that. They like to see their leaders stick it to the lid, right? Stick it to them. Yeah, we want to harm them. We want to take their rights and freedoms away. And then we want to tell those liberals just how much they hate rights and freedoms. That's exactly what people like Nathan Dahm and Standridge like to do. They do that stuff because they're cowards. And that's exactly why they do exactly what they do with like Senate Bill 1142, where it talks about, hey, you know, if I'm a white guy and you're talking about black stuff and all of a sudden I feel discomfort or I feel guilty or I feel anguish, well, then I should be able to sue you for that. You see, because, you know, I'm a conservative coward who likes to dish it by telling you we don't need diversity or we don't need your feelings, but by golly, I need to be able to sue you if you hurt mine. And that's basically what we get here with the Standridge bill. But here we go. The last bill I'm going to talk about, and I kind of rushed through this, but there's this one bill. It's Senate Bill 1470, and I really think this is probably the most egregious one here and on education, because it's called the Religious Belief Protection Act. The Religious Belief Protection Act. Now, what does the Religious Belief Protection Act do? Well, it protects students against the beliefs of teachers, basically, is what it does. So basically what it says is, if you're a student with a closely held religious belief, and a teacher, even if it's indirectly, supports something different, well, then they deserve to be fired. No, I'm not kidding you. Their employment is subject to termination if it goes against another student's closely held religious beliefs. Like being gay. Right? And I'm almost positive that's what this is about. Because when I read this bill, the first thing that came to mind was this is against gays and lesbians and LGBTQ people. Of course it is. Because when you look at all the other bills Standridge has in there, most of them go against gay and lesbian and transgenders and that community. They all go against that. They, in some way, try to do harm. Use the force of big conservative government to do harm to a class of people that Standridge doesn't like. And when you think about it, when you think about all these bills Standridge has, wow, he thinks about gays and lesbians a lot. He thinks about them a lot. Probably why he has a law or a bill that he wants to make a law against it, because he thinks about them so much. Thinks about him a lot. So it kind of makes you wonder about Standridge. Look at him. Well, I really don't have to wonder too hard. I don't think I have to wonder too hard. This guy thinks about gays and lesbians a lot. He really does. So now he has to make a law against it because, that makes him, what was that? Uncomfortable. Right? So it makes him uncomfortable. So he needs a law against it because, golly, I'm having these impure thoughts about gays and lesbians. So he has to write a law against it. And I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Because we have this law that states, hey man, if I'm a student and my religious belief says that abortion is bad, and your daughter, you're a teacher, you have a daughter, she gets an abortion, even if it's not directly, it's totally indirect, but your daughter had an abortion, well, that's an affront to my religion. You should be fired for it. And that's exactly what this law will go, and that's exactly what this law is designed to do. It's designed to go after those who don't hold to this guy's ideology. Because we got to understand, right? When he says religious freedom, religious views, he's talking about conservative views. That's how they do this. They all kind of piggyback that in, right? So if any views go against my conservative thinking, I get to fire you for it. I get to use the force of big government to fire you for not thinking like a free thinker like me, because you don't think exactly like I do, right? So that doesn't make them the sheep, correct? So that's what you get with bills like this from Rob Standridge, which is really gross. Come on. Religious Free Belief Protection Act. Protecting people's religious beliefs against others because they may indirectly support a view that goes against these people's religious beliefs. Like abortion. My daughter got an abortion. I'm a teacher. But because I support my daughter, because I love her, I'm going to get fired for that. Or hey, I'm a lesbian teacher, and my wife and I have been married for a while, and I don't have any pictures or anything else, but just because a woman's married to another woman, that could be an indirect correlation that goes against the student's religious beliefs. And that's exactly what it's designed to do. See, it's designed to take away these people's jobs, their freedoms, their quality of life, because they do things that Rob Standridge has problems with. See, because Rob Standridge thinks about gays and lesbians way too much. See, and that bothers Rob Standridge. See, he ought to just give into it and just, think about him like he does, instead of trying to fight him all the time. But that's what he does. And then he comes out with these laws, these bills that he wants to turn into laws that are so draconian. They're so anti-freedom. They're so anti-American. Look at it. He's going after American citizens in the grossest and ugliest of ways here. That's what he does with the Senate Bill 1470. And it's designed to go after gays and lesbians. You know it is. When you see that, hey, what are the affronts against religion? Oh, gays and lesbians is the biggest one. Abortion next. But really, it's gays and lesbians. So and it even says anything. It doesn't even just say that at school. It says events. Like you can't go to a football game or an awards event or anything and sit next to your significant other. You wouldn't be able to do that. See, this bill would get you fired if it became law. If I was to sit next to my gay partner at a game or anywhere else, or at an awards ceremony where I might get an award if I was a teacher, where my partner might want to show up to that to support me. But you see, Rob Standridge can't stand that. It's all about divide and conquer with these people. Anyway, right? So we're going to divide them up. I can divide them off. And we can do that. And Rob Standridge can feel, a little less anxious about himself being gay. Well, this is Across the Desk with Kit Fairchild. And we'll see you next week.